But we begin with the outpouring of reaction from all around the world after the death of former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell. The four-star general turned statesman died from COVID complications today at the age of 84. Powell was fully vaccinated, but he was suffering from a debilitating underlying health condition. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil live tonight in Washington with a look back on Powell's illustrious life and how he's being remembered in D.C. and, Joe, really all around the world.
That's true, Nichole. And, you know, what a legacy. I mean, we're not just talking about how he broke barrier after barrier, but when you think about our foreign policy and our national security over the past 30 years, you'd be really hard-pressed to find one individual who had a bigger impact than Colin Powell. Add to that how rare it is. He's one of these rare figures, especially now, that has not only respect but admiration from both sides of the aisle.
He broke so many barriers, and those barriers were not easy to break by any stretch.
Few people personify the American story like Colin Powell. Born to two Jamaican immigrants in Harlem, New York, Powell eventually rose to become a four-star general, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, National Security Advisor, and Secretary of State, serving under four presidents, the first Black American in each of those roles.
The world lost one of the greatest leaders that we have ever witnessed. Alma lost a great husband, and the family lost a tremendous father.
In the run-up to Desert Storm, the general became known for the Powell Doctrine, which dictates the U.S. exhaust all options short of armed conflict and outline a clear exit strategy before resorting to war. But once at war, crush the enemy with overwhelming force.
Fight it, and fight it to the death. Fight it so they know that America cannot be challenged in this way.
Perhaps most remembered in his diplomatic role for a 2003 speech to the UN, making the case for war in Iraq, claiming Saddam Hussein was hiding weapons of mass destruction.
We have no indication that Saddam Hussein has ever abandoned his nuclear weapons program.
No such weapons were found. It was a speech Powell would publicly come to regret. As a political figure, Powell enjoyed rare approval and respect from both sides of the aisle.
Believe in America with all your heart and soul, and with all of your mind. Remember that it remains the last best hope of Earth.
A Republican, Powell famously broke ranks and endorsed candidate Barack Obama in 2008, and in later years heaped scorn on former President Donald Trump. Recently, while out of public eye, Powell waged his final battle against COVID, at the same time suffering from a rare form of blood cancer that left him immunocompromised. He died Monday morning. Colin Luther Powell was 84 years old.
Above all, never lose faith in America. Its faults are yours to fix, not to curse.
As you mentioned off the top, there's been an outpouring of support and messages from both political and military leaders. I want to get into two of them specifically that are incredibly pressing here. Joe Biden, the president, released a statement saying, in part, Colin embodied the highest ideals of both warrior and diplomat. He was committed to our nation's strength and security. And above all, Colin was my friend, easy to share a laugh with, a trusted confidant in good and hard times. And this is from former President George W. Bush, who says, in part, quote, he was such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. He was highly respected at home and abroad, and most important, Colin was a family man and a friend, Nichole, certainly a legacy that will not soon be forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely a tremendous human being there, Joe. Thank you for that.